Skull! Welcome to part one of my black metal drumming video. In this video I'm going to be focusing on mainly 8th notes and 16th note patterns. I hope you like it. So welcome to Thailand, and this is one thing that I cannot get used to. You go to the music studio and you have to take your shoes off. Now I'm a metalhead at heart and I can't imagine Manowar playing in their bare feet. And I cannot play drums in my bare feet, and it's something that I'm sorry I'll never get used to. Okay, I've snuck my shoes in. I've got my Aston Villa socks on. Let's black and roll. Alrighty, I'm very happy with my setup today. This is actually a Pearl Masters, which is a kind of higher level Pearl drum kit made out of maple. A maple is a really nice sounding wood. Got a China symbol over there and a double kick pedal. So at Rabanas you have to, Rabanas is the studio in Birmingham in England, you have to rent your own cymbals. The seats are crappy and they definitely don't give you a double kick. I mean, the snare's a bit worn out, but you can't have it all. Let's do this! Skull! Welcome to part one of my black metal drumming video. In this video I'm going to be focusing on mainly 8th notes and 16th note patterns. I hope you like it. Okay, before we start, let's have a look at the notation. The X is the hi-hat, the green is the snare, and the one at the bottom is the bass drum. You'll find this beat on Burzum. He does it particularly well, like really sparse, no frills or fripperies. Unlike how I played it in the video, you'll also find it on Darkthrone. You find it everywhere. It's a bog standard rock beat. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so first I'll play it slowly like Quintessence. Maybe open-handed. Maybe a bit faster. This is the halftime beat. You'll see that the snare is now on the 3rd beat, and a good example of this would be Dunkelheit by Burzum. Burzum, Burzum. Okay, halftime beats. Snare will be falling on beat 3. The next example is a blast beat, the like you'll find on Funeral Fog by Mayhem. You'll notice that the feel has changed to semiquavers now, or 16th notes. You can see the double bar lines at the top. That means that we're using 16th notes. Also, the dotted line, the hi-hat and the bass drum must line up exactly, and it must be played really smooth and even. Okay, the black metal blast beats, which played slowly, will be just speed it up, you end up with something like this. This is the same pattern, except the hi-hat and bass are where the snare used to be. So it's just kind of swapped places. The hi-hat and the bass have swapped places with the snare. It was a lot harder to play because I'm actually leading with my left hand. And if you listen, I'm trying to mark each bar with the accent on the snare. It can sound absolutely identical without the music, but if you listen carefully, you can hear the accent on the snare, and you can hear that it's opposite to before. This time let's play the black metal blast beat, but we'll flip it around so it's going to start on the snare. Bit harder. This is one of my all-time favourite drum beats. You'll see we've got semi-quavers or 16th notes on the bass drum now, and the snare on the 2 and the 4. You can play the hi-hat in crotchets as written. Crotchets is quarter notes, or you can play as quavers or eighth notes. Both sound good. Probably crotchets better, get more of an impact on every beat. If my memory serves, you'll find this on Jesus Todd by Butzum, however you say that, Jesus Todd, whatever, you know what I mean. One of my favourite beats, 16th notes on the double bass, snare on 2 and 4. You can play 8th notes on the hi-hat or quarters on the hi-hat. So this one's also an absolute classic. It's exactly the same as the previous beat, except that the snare comes on the and every single time. If you listen to the Motorhead song called Overkill, it's the same beat as what Burzum uses on a track called E, Lord of Depths. Is he from the north? E, Lord of Depths. Okay, this is a kind of punkier version of the same beat, kind of like what you'd hear in Motorhead. Okay, this is the last beat on the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going back to 8th notes, and the hi-hat is just going to play on the and, or the off beat of every note. You're going to play one thing at a time, or one sound source at a time, and this style is called linear, a linear style, which is a really good style to get into. If you look at the notation again, you'll see that there's a circle above the hi-hat. That just means that you're going to play the hi-hat open. This one is playing the off beats on the hi-hat. It's a kind of linear kind of thing. I have to do it slowly if you want to make it sound kind of groovy and brutal, kind of like this. You can play it faster. Careful you don't play like a hip-hop style like this, because that's not black metal. That's like a hardcore beat. You don't want that, you just want... Also, don't open the hi-hat, because then you'll end up with disco. Okay, so whether you are a drummer or a non-drummer, I'd just like to say cheers, skål, thanks for watching, and stay awesome.